Personal log, entry 1. I am starting this log to document my time here. We were encouraged to journal. I suppose our mental state is interesting to the company and to the researchers back home. This is pretty experimental after all. I finished printing a few hours ago. There's no one else around, so I guess I'm the first one, which is strange in and of itself. As far as I can recall, the doctor should have been the first one to be printed. He's supposed to oversee the printing process for the rest of us, as well as give us all a physical. Make sure everyone is healthy. But maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe the sequence is not important. Or maybe priorities changed while we were in orbit. Anyway, it should take a day or so to print the next member of the crew, so I guess I can just enjoy some alone time in the meanwhile. The view is impressive. I didn't know we would have such a low orbit. Phaedra 5 is quite active, a lava planet ripe for mining. The mining modules arrived on site before the Escallion and seems to have connected with the ship like they were supposed to when it arrived. The Escorial have basically been turned into a space station now, and the shaking giant outside is just waiting for us. It is more unstable than I suspected. It's almost like space vibrates and concoils around it. I've never heard of a mining prospect so thermally active. We are really pushing the boundaries of science here. I like just sitting here in the observatory, watching the planet. There's actually a small collection of paper books here. I like that. It's nice when you spend most of the day in front of a screen to actually read a paper book. I don't know who left them, but they must be a sci-fi buff. There's plenty of old-time classics here. Samuel Delaney, Ursula Le Guin, Octavia Butler, Stanislav Lem. Some of the names I've heard of. I might start reading one of them tonight. It will be interesting to see what kind of futures people imagined back then. I wonder if they imagined anyone like me. Personal log, entry 2. I'm not sure what's going on, but something is definitely wrong. It's been a day since my last entry. No one else has been printed. I should have done this yesterday, but today I finally visited the printing chamber. check out the womb. It's not active. No one else is being printed. The log claims there's not enough biomatter to print anyone else. And that's obviously not possible. I've done a preliminary scan of the main computer, and there's something wrong with the mainframe memory. I'm doing a full systems check now. It will take me a while. As I mentioned yesterday, Phaedra 5 is more unstable than expected. And Phaedra itself, the sun, is also very active. Coronal mass ejections are probably quite common here. Maybe that's related somehow. A massive solar storm certainly could have created plenty of computer problems for us. And that might also explain why the womb chose to print me first, rather than the doctor. I'm the engineer in charge of making the station run smoothly. If there's a problem big enough to affect printing, allowing for only one person to be printed, I would be the natural choice. A doctor or a geologist wouldn't be much use. They wouldn't be able to fix the womb or the mainframe. There's little more I can do from the womb or the control room until the scans are done. I might explore the station tomorrow, and tomorrow afternoon, when the scans are complete, I need some time to pore over the data. Since the situation I find myself in is so unexpected, I haven't really stopped to think about myself. It's 20 years since the Ascarian left Earth. And since something is really off here, I cannot be sure if anyone will ever find these log entries, or what background they might have, how much or how little they will know. So it might be time to explain a little. 20 years is enough for a lot of things to change back home. A lot of things might be different or forgotten. It has not been 20 years for me, though. The memories I have of Earth, they are not my memories. I was born into this world just yesterday. Printing is extremely accurate, right down to the patterns of the iris. Even twins don't match that well. It feels so strange that there is another me, another Cassandra, back on Earth. Identical. Except she has a scar on her left hand, and I don't. I still expect it to be there every time I look at my hand. I'm so used to running my fingers along it. But that was her habit, I suppose. It was never mine. When I was getting backed up, I laid down on the bed and closed my eyes. And when I woke up again, I was here, It felt like just a few moments later, but 20 years had passed, and I was almost 1400 light years from home. The memory transplant process certainly seems to be working. My memories, her memories, are crisp and clear, but the illusion of my consciousness continuing from that day is just that, an illusion. It's hard to wrap my head around it. I have to remind myself that the physical person who got their memories backed up that day is not the person I am now. The family I remember is not my own. It belongs to someone else. And I am a printed copy. It's so strange to think about our originals living their lives back on Earth. Another me. The real me, I suppose. All those memories I have. My husband, our kids, our dog. They are her memories, not mine. And my time at uni, my career, also her. And she has aged 20 years, while her DNA and her memories have been traveling through space. Few people want to leave their loved ones behind for that long, perhaps for the rest of their lives. It's easier to store DNA and memories and print copies on site later, where their experience and skill is needed. When my job is done, I will be allowed to print copies of my loved ones, and we can live out our lives in peace on a colony world. That was the plan, at least. I don't know what will happen now. Personal log, entry 3. I explored most of the station today, both the Escorial and the mining modules attached to it. It was more time-consuming than I thought it would be. I mean, I have the schematics, of course, but actually walking around makes you realize how big the place is and how much effort has gone into making it a nice place to live. I guess it has to be, since we're supposed to stay here for 10 years. This place has all the technology it could possibly need to do its job, and then some. 22 long-distance drones, the best shielding credits can buy, spacious living quarters, entertainment center, gym, swimming pool, 3 observation domes, a fully equipped hydroponics bay. It's not functional without our biologist, though. There's also 10 cryo chambers and 5 short-distance shuttles. The cryo chambers are for traveling to our new home on a colony world when our 10 years of service is over. The mining facilities are not my specialty, and I don't quite know what to make of them. Oscar and Wilhelm would have had the run of them if they had been printed. It's strange to be alone here. Not unsettling. I'm pretty introverted, so I can handle it, at least for now. But there were supposed to be 7 of us here. At least the sci-fi books provide me with some company. I'm reading Solaris by Stanislav Lem. It's about paranoia and the impossibility of communicating with alien life forms that are fundamentally different from us. I hope it's not at all relatable to my own situation. It's a bit uncanny to read it, but at the same time, it's so human, it brings me a lot of comfort. A real person wrote this. Reading it beats talking to the computer, that's for sure. I feel very grateful to whoever left these old books here. I think they are originals, actually printed way back when, using old-time printing presses, not what we would call printing today. The pages are worn and filled with annotations. They're old, tattered, and well-loved. In a way, these books are more real than I am. I'm making this log entry right now because all the scans are done, and I don't really want to see the results. I'm a bit nervous about what I'm going to find out, and so I procrastinate. I might have some dinner before I get back to work. Dinner and one more chapter in my book. I think I'll go for chicken curry today. The Asgarian has freeze-dried food meant to feed 7 people for a decade, so I don't have to worry about that. Eventually, Leonie would have gotten the hydroponics bay up and running, so we could have some fresh food as well, and extra biomatter. But she's not here, so freeze-dried it is then. It's actually not bad. Personal log, entry 4. The main computer seems to have undergone a hard reset. Whatever prompted that, it must have been something serious. It happened the day before I was printed. There's also minor damage to the exterior hull below the right pylon of the second mining module. The damage seems old. It might have happened years ago, perhaps during transit. It's nothing too serious, and I doubt it's related to anything else. Anyway, the computer cannot tell me much. All logs were wiped in the reset. Other than that, it seems to be working just fine. With so little data, I can only speculate. I need to find the answer to my questions elsewhere. I need to search the ship again, more thoroughly this time, and see if I can find any traces of whatever has happened here. I'll make another entry when I have more to add. Personal log, entry 5. I have made some more discoveries. They have at least shed some light on what might have happened. One of the shuttles are gone. I don't know why I didn't notice before. The shuttle bay has a separate log. It doesn't say much, but I was able to determine that the missing shuttle left 2 days before I was printed. There's nothing in the log indicating any type of emergency or evacuation procedure. The shuttle was launched manually, without any additional information about the destination or the purpose. The shuttle is big enough to house all of the crew, although it would be a bit cramped. This leads me to believe that at least one member of the crew was printed before me. If the womb really is out of biomatter, that might also indicate that all of them were successfully printed. Perhaps also another version of me. They could have left to investigate the planet. They would get more accurate readings if they could get closer to it. The shuttles are short distance only. There's nowhere else they could have gone in it. But why would all of them leave together? I wouldn't have been much use. Neither would Leonie or Dr. Ravi. Were they running from something? Was it dangerous to stay on the ship for some reason? Whatever happened here, did it necessitate a hard reset of the mainframe? I did find some damage in the server room. I'm not sure if it's severe enough to have prompted a hard reset automatically. It seemed somewhat intentional. I'm not sure what to make of it. It looks like there might have been a fight. So far, my investigation leaves me with more questions than answers. It is against protocol for all the crew to leave the ship at once, except if evacuation is necessary. But there does not seem to have been any reason to evacuate. The damage to the server room and hull does not qualify. On the contrary, the damage would indicate that crew members stay behind and try to repair it. I have instructed the Escallion to detach from the mining modules and establish a faster orbit around the planet for the time being. I will maintain a continuous search for the missing shuttle All I can do now is wait. I wonder if there is another me out there. Personal log, entry 6. It's been 3 days since my last entry. The search has yielded no results so far, but the search area is vast. I spend my days checking and maintaining the ship's systems and looking for traces of logs or data that might have escaped the reset. No luck so far. My evenings are spent reading. There's little other entertainment to be had. Everything was deleted in the reset. I'm reading a lot of Ursula Le Guin. Short stories mostly. I believe she had a background in anthropology, and I can well believe it. She describes so many widely different societies. It is fascinating to read about. One of the short stories, Paradises Lost, is still on my mind. It's about a generational ship. Le Guin writes about what happens to people when they live their whole life on a ship and never set foot on a planet. It changes them. They have difficulty fathoming things that are not man-made. Nature, weather, plants and animals. Some of the passengers come to believe that the ship has always existed and will continue through space forever, never wear down, never stop working, that their destination is a metaphor, not a real place. It made me think about my own situation, why I believe the things I do. My body was made in the womb after the Escallion arrived at Phaedra 5 from biomatter stored on board. I am a clone of an engineer from Earth. I have her skills and her memories, but my knowledge of that is implanted in me, and I am alone here. Can I be sure of anything? Maybe I don't actually have a past. Maybe my original never existed. What if all my memories are fake? We were told that printed people needed memories, an identity, a past, in order to function and be healthy. But does it have to be a real one? It is easy to start doubting whether you're even a real person when you're printed. This body, my body, was never a baby or a child. And if I were to continue down the same path, I could also ask whether the mining operation itself is real. Or was I meant to be alone here as some sort of experiment to see how long I would last or something. Okay, let's not go too far. I have to believe what I was told is true. Otherwise, I have nothing to hold on to. The concept of printing people at all is controversial. We did not ask to be made, but to be fair, no one does. Originals do not ask to be born either. And I am glad to be alive, to have real memories, a good life to draw on out here, and to compensate for being printed, I suppose. I can retire comfortably after just 10 years' work. But what if the company never intended to pay for our retirement after the mining operation is over? What if we are disposable slaves, here to harvest the precious metals of Phaedra 5, and then thrown away? That would be a good way for them to save some money. And that is actually one of the less far-fetched theories I've come up with today. The promise of a good future with printed families might all be a lie. Why would they pay for all that when they don't have to pay for anything at all? Maybe no one knows that I'm here. Printed people officially have the same rights as their originals, but theory and practice don't always match up. Alright, I need to stop ruminating and get back to work. Personal log, entry 7. The scans finally picked something up today. It's probably the missing shuttle. I might be able to retrieve it or scan it properly when we get closer. I am afraid of what I will find, but eager to end the uncertainty. I will know more tomorrow. Personal log, entry 8. I found the shuttle. It had collided with parts of the debris field, which led to a rather large explosion. I managed to save a few pieces and had the computer analyze them. It contained DNA from 6 people, all of the crew except me. That explains why there isn't any more biomatter. Eventually there would have been more if the hydroponics lab had been up and running, but it never was. They're dead. They're all dead. And I am truly alone. I need some time. Personal log, entry 9. It's been 5 days since my last entry. I have mostly spent that time pacing the ship, doing my usual maintenance, and thinking. Why were 6 of them on that shuttle together? And why was I not there? What happened to the previous version of me? Is she dead too, but not with the others? Or was she not printed at all? And how was I printed? I am the key to this, I think. I have to look within. I cannot think about anything else now. Personal log, entry 10. I have finally found the truth, and it is a dark one. Since my last entry, I've been thinking about my previous self. If she knew that I would be printed, would she try to leave me a message? An explanation? If she did, it would probably be in my quarters. The quarters that were meant to be mine anyway. I haven't spent much time there, since I have the whole ship to myself. So I went there, and in the bottom corner of the locker, I found something that I haven't thought about at all since I woke up. My old teddy bear. My original let me have it. I remember leaving it in these very quarters. Her memory and my memory. And just as I thought, hidden inside, in the stuffing, I found a small storage device. A message from the previous printed version of myself. I'll play it for you. If you are listening to this, I am dead. I'd have to be for you to live. I want you to know what happened here, so I put this in a place you would eventually think of. I hope you are healthy and that the printing process still works. When I was printed, something went wrong. A strong solar storm interfered with the womb. I came out deformed. I had a hand and a leg bigger than the others. I had problems walking and with motor control, but I was also quite strong. The others had a long discussion about what to do with me. I wasn't allowed to participate, but I had no problem hacking into the surveillance cameras they thought they had disabled. And so I watched from another room as they voted to have me killed. Dr. Ravi was the only one who voted against it. They argued that my expertise was needed, and I could not do my job with my deformities. die for another to be made. The only biomatter we had to make another Cassandra would have to be my body. And I didn't want to die. So when they came for me, I fought back. I was stronger than they thought. I killed all of them. Even the doctor. Afterwards, when I had nothing to do and nowhere to go, I was ripped apart by guilt. I couldn't live like that. In the end, I decided to rid myself of it the only way I could think of. I executed a hard reset of the mainframe to get rid of any evidence, and then I put the bodies in a shuttle and sent it towards the debris field, where it would be destroyed. The only evidence left of what happened is this recording. I hope you get rid of that too. Take the Escalion and go to one of the colony worlds. Try to live a good life there. Once I am done recording this, I will put it in our teddy bear and go to the womb. I will program it to dissolve me and use my biomatter to make a new Cassandra. We will have the same DNA, and you will be made from the molecules of my body. But you will not have my guilt. You never killed anyone. It's the same thing the others wanted to do, so I guess it can make their deaths seem even more of a waste. But there you have it. This time, it was my choice. Don't waste the life I have given you. Make the best of it. Good luck. Personal log, entry 11. I have prepared the Escalion for departure. I chose a colony world named Prenia, green and lush, well established. I have no idea how they will receive me, or what I will tell them, but I can figure that out later. I have destroyed the recording I found, but for some reason, I felt like finishing this log. In a few days, the cryo chamber I have prepared for myself will be ready for use. I will go to sleep and wake up in a few years' time to a new life. I don't know what it will be like, but there is nothing for me here now. Until I go to sleep, I will continue my usual routine. Maintenance checks in the day, reading at night. I still don't know which one of them brought the books. I guess they were a gift from someone's original. Right now, Those voices from the past is the only thing grounding me. My existence was never meant to be. I was made through coincidence and tragedy. I have to fill my own life with meaning and purpose, because it cannot come from the past, nor from other people. It's up to me now. I will try to make the best of it, like my predecessor wanted. Computer, delete all personal logs.